Hi, I'm Joni Patry, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Well, today I want to talk about Saturn, because Saturn is going to be going back and forth from Aquarius to Capricorn. And Saturn's been in Capricorn for quite some time, for about 2 years. And Saturn being in Capricorn does so much to the economy, but mainly to governments and leadership. I've been talking about this for the past 2 years. But as it goes into Aquarius, there's a big change. But we've left something undone. Why do I say that? Because Saturn's got to go back one more time into Capricorn between July, and let me give you the exact dates here. It's going to go back into Capricorn July 12th, and it will remain there till January 17th of 2023. So we've got Saturn doing a number to remind us about something. But before I move on, I want to remind you of something. If you would like to get my free predictions delivered to your email address, go to my website, galacticcenter.org, and there you can sign up for my free newsletter, and you'll get all the information that you need to know to keep you informed astrologically. So once again, go to galacticcenter.org, and remember, this is so exciting. I'm going to start another first semester with the University of Vedic Astrology. If you have always been wanting to learn astrology, I've got the answer. An incredible all-online school where you have private tutors and graduations. We make sure that you learn everything you've signed up for. So go to universityofvedicastrology.com, and remember, the new start date is July 6th. So get ready to learn. But meanwhile, let me inform you of what is going on with Saturn. You know, when I make predictions, probably the 2 planets, well, I'll say 4 planets that I pay attention to the very, very most is Saturn, Jupiter, and Rahu and Ketu. If you look at where they are transiting, as well as to all the other planets, you will know what's going on in the world. But it's a major big deal that Saturn's going back and forth between the signs of Aquarius and Capricorn. So Saturn has been in Aquarius since April, since around the end of April. It just touched foot out of Capricorn and into Aquarius. But remember that July 12th, it's going to go back into Capricorn. So Saturn actually turned retrograde on June 5th. June 5th, Saturn started its retrograde process where it starts to move backwards. And Saturn will turn direct on October 23rd of this year. So it's going to be retrograde from June 5th to October 23rd. And the date that it will retrograde back into Capricorn is July 12th. And Capricorn, as I said, it is everything to do with the governments, with leaderships around the world. And there is so much that has been coming down and happening. I mean, even including a war. This is remarkable in our day of time that we're looking at these type of things. And there's more to come. Because Saturn, while it is in retrograde, well, let me give you the degree markings because this is really important. And I want you to take note if you have any of these degrees in your chart, because if you do, you're going to get blasted. I'm telling you, when Saturn picks a degree and it stations on it, it's not easy. I mean, I've had many of my planets stationed on by Saturn. It means in the process of going either direct or retrograde, it pretty much comes to a standstill. So it spends more time on that particular degree. So around June 5th, if you have any planets close to 1 degree of Aquarius, you're gonna feel the heaviness, the responsibility, the setbacks, the problems that Saturn gives us. Of course, it always brings character, and it always makes us grow up and mature. And Saturn, of course, in the long run, gives us opportunities and change that we couldn't get with any other planet, because Saturn is the taskmaster and it makes us work. But for the most part, when you're working that hard, it's not a lot of fun. So let me just say, if you have any planets around 1 degree of Aquarius or 1 degree of Leo, that's going to be a direct hit. And within, I will give it a 3-degree orb. But 1 degree, 0 degrees of Aquarius, it's rough. So some people may use the square, but I'm just going to focus in on the conjunction and opposition. So that's going to be 1 to 0 degrees of Aquarius and Leo. And then when it stations again to move direct, it's going to be at 24 degrees of Capricorn. And this is going to be in October. This is October 23rd that it turns direct. But let me just say, it's going to be at that degree for months. Trust me. But here's the real clincher with this Saturn. I've been talking about this for a long time. I even wrote an extensive research article that, by the way, to give another plug, is going to come out in my new magazine, which is about to unfold in July. Be on the lookout for that. I'm going to put out an online magazine. It's going to be Joni Patry's Astrology Insights, but I have a research article that goes into depth about Saturn whenever it is in a square position to Uranus. Now, historically, when I went back to all of the conjunctions, the squares, and the oppositions between these two planets, always something happened concerning, well, 1, the economy, and number 2, there were many earthquakes. So pay attention. This is what we're looking at. And I believe Saturn dealing with government, Saturn deals with discipline, focus, organization, and structure. And then you put it where it's being squared by the planet Uranus, which is the complete opposite just about. It deals with unexpected things that happen quick, out of the blue, but it is the planet of change. So major shifts and changes will be happening around the time that we have the Saturn stationing to go direct. It's around the end of October, and the end of October is fraught with many things, especially with Mars on the 30th turning retrograde. So October is where I start to see things really unfolding. That is things we didn't expect, things you can't see coming. But I will say this for the planet Uranus. I love Uranus. It's called the Great Awakener. And you put it with Saturn, it's going to break down all the old problems that have prevented us from moving forward. So Saturn is that stalemate. Uranus makes things blow up so that we can do something to create the changes that are necessary. But change doesn't come so easy. People are afraid of change, and there's going to be some sudden unexpected changes that will shift the world. So you got to look at this aspect as being something huge. And yes, I wrote an article on it, and yes, I've done many videos on this. And this is the last time that through the movement of Uranus, which is a very slow moving planet, takes 84 years to go through the entire 12 signs of the zodiac, Saturn takes approximately 28 or 30 years. So every time they're in a hard aspect, it's about every 11 years. So what I'm talking about with a hard aspect is conjunction, square, opposition, square, and back to the conjunction. It equates to a full cycle of around 45 years. So this is what we're looking at. This cycle, but here we're at a very critical square. It's the very fourth one. I mean, it's gone back 3 times. Usually it's just 3 times, but we have one more. And this is going to be, I love to call it this, because it's going to feel like the grand finale. Here's where it finally produces an effect. Instead of thinking, well, maybe it's going to happen, will it happen, almost happens. No, this is the effect. This is where it's completed its process of what these planets are here to teach us. It's always growth, and it's always a lesson. And so many things have been building and building and building, but nothing's really come of it. This is the completion. You'll see. This is where things are going to finally explode to clear the air. This last part of the year will be unbelievable. So yes, so watch this. And take note, if you have any planets around these degrees that Saturn is stationing, plus the entire time that Saturn goes back to 24 degrees of Capricorn, and then all the way up to the early degrees of Aquarius, it will be in the nakshatra called Dhanishta. And Dhanishta is ruled by Mars. That nakshatra is potent, powerful. It deals with rhythm. It deals with the drum. Its symbol is a drum. But it also deals with wealth and money. And I think a lot of exposure is going to come from a lot of corruption that has been going on concerning wealth and money in this world. I mean, it's been a corrupt, greedy world for a long time, but a lot of things are going to have to be attested to. And people are going to have to be responsible to what's happening in the world. So much that has been denied or ignored, or that people have gotten away with things. It's going to be leveled out. Truth comes out, and people are going to have to pay the consequences. This won't happen overnight. Never does when you're dealing with the most powerful people in the world, but you're going to see some major results. The world's changing. Yes, it seems very, very scary, but this is what needs to happen. There needs to be a destructive force to clear the air for the new to come about. And that's what I want to fill you in with Saturn going back into Capricorn. Capricorn is all Saturn loves to be in Capricorn, but it is about being responsible. That's what Saturn's all about. So with that, I'd like to close. If you would like more information on me, or you want to sign up for my newsletter, go to my website, galacticcenter.org. And don't forget, if you want to study with me, I'd love to have you as my student. Come on to the university, University of Vedic Astrology.com. Thank you.